How and when did you become a Christian, and who helped you?
So I suppose it goes back to when I started high school. So I grew up in a family that I wouldn't say had much, if anything, to do with Jesus or God. You know, Easter was definitely about chocolate, and Christmas is all about presents. But I was lucky enough that they sent me to a Christian school, Bayside Christian College actually, which isn't too far from here. I suppose that was the first time that I was exposed even to the name of Jesus, and, you know, heard the stories for the first time about Noah's Ark and all that stuff. And I suppose that began a journey that was just purely curiosity. At that stage, I had not heard about Jesus or God or who he was, but through just being exposed in chapel and the stories and from the teachers, that I suppose just sparked something in me with a little bit of fear. If heaven was real and hell was real, then I didn't want to go to hell. So that was a little bit of extra motivation for me to kind of figure out, if this is real, how do I get there? And I suppose just over a series of God placing some teachers and some people across my path, I was trying to, think about, if there's one, and I couldn't really pick one without acknowledging the others. It was very much like a jigsaw piece, that if one teacher hadn't had a conversation with me, wouldn't have led to the next one, which wouldn't have led to the next one, which ultimately ended up being invited to church, in which I said yes. And then through that, I still remember the service, the message that was preached. And I went down and I gave my heart to the Lord. And just to make sure, I went to 3 different churches over the next 3 weeks, just to make sure that I was definitely saved. I don't know how that works with theology, but I just wanted to cover all bases. And it was a bit of a slow burn. And I'm really thankful, especially to my youth leader who was kind of assigned to me or tagged to me. And he was amazing, teenage boy who was all into gaming, trying to get him out of the house on a Friday night. He just kept on pursuing me. He kept on just giving me time, just loving on me. And it took a few years, but he eventually got me, and I started coming along. But he just gave me the space and the time just to let me ask my questions. I was very curious, as I said before. I had a lot of questions. I'd not grown up hearing the message, and he just gave me the space to ask those in a very safe, non-judgmental place, and I'm so thankful for that. If he had told me what was right or wrong or what I should be doing or shouldn't be doing, I don't think I would be here. But he just let me ask those questions and just kept on turning up with a smile, and I'm really appreciative of that. So, yeah.
What I love is that there was one person and another one person and another one person and another one person that kept sharing that Jesus gospel. So where would your life be if those people hadn't shared with you about Jesus?
I like this question because it's an easy question. I do often reflect and think about how far I've come, and I do remind myself of where I was and where I am now. And it's not so much about, if I'd have a different job or be in a different relationship, but the main thing that would be different would be me in myself, because before I met Jesus, I was a very insecure, scared, I suppose, person who just did not know who I was, and so I just went to people seeking just a little bit of affirmation. And it's kind of like, puppy dog, anyone that would say a nice word or, I didn't know who I was, so I just was like, oh yeah, that's who I am. But the best thing I can say is like if I was going to other people to fill up my cup, because that's what it was. Anyone who could come and fill my cup, that's what I did. I followed them. I tried to act like them because that's what I wanted. But now that I've kind of met Jesus and over a period of time, I don't need to go and seek that from other people. I have that inside of me, and I suppose that's the biggest change, because I'd hate to think where I would be if I didn't know Jesus. Because, as I said, I despise myself for the way that I'd run to people, and because I didn't know myself. But now that I've met Jesus and I know who he is, and I remind myself of all the truth that I've learned over the years, I don't do that. I'm comfortable with myself, and I'm so thankful that so many people played a part in my journey. So.